Hey everyone. In this video, I'd like to show you some tips or explain a little bit better interval notation. Okay, so let's say you're solving a linear inequality and you get to the answer x is less than 2, which is shown here. We want to make sure our variable is on the left side of the inequality and our number's on the right side of the inequality for all of these. So because this is less than, 2 is here, and I'm going to put a circle around 2 on my number line because I'm not including 2. It's not equal to 2. It's less than 2. So every number up until that's less than 2 up until 1.999999999, but we're not including 2 in this. So my solution on the number line would look like this. It'd be all of this filled in, going all the way to negative infinity. Okay? And we did this back in chapter 1 or 2, I believe. So this should be familiar to you. To convert from a number line into interval notation, we start the highlighted part from left to right, and we write that down. So in this case, because the arrow goes all the way to negative infinity, I'm starting at negative infinity. I'm ending at 2. Now we have to decide if we're going to use parentheses or a bracket. If you're dealing with negative infinity, you're always going to use a parenthesis. Okay? Parenthesis. Now, for the 2, we have to decide, are we including 2 or are we not including 2? We're not including 2, so that's another parenthesis. Okay? Infinity always has a parenthesis because you can never get equal to negative infinity or infinity. Okay? So let's do another one of these, but this time we're less than or equal to a value. So again, the idea is the same. We're going to put a circle at 4, but this time we're going to fill in that circle because we're including 4. 4 is part of my solution. And we highlight all the other numbers that make this statement true. So anything that's less than 4 going all the way to negative infinity is going to make this true. So now we write our interval based on the shaded region. Again, we're starting at negative infinity and ending at our number 4. We cannot include negative infinity in our answer, so we put parenthesis on that side. But we are including 4 because it's filled in here, and we have the equal sign here, the equal to part. So we're going to use a square bracket for that. We're always doing our shaded region from left to right. In this case, we're starting at negative infinity. We're ending at 4. So now let's move on to greater than. So we have x is greater than 6 here. Negative 6, sorry. So we're going to put our circle around negative 6. We are not going to fill it in because we're not equal to 6. But we're going to shade everything going to the right of that, all the way to positive infinity. So looking at our shaded region, we are starting at negative 6. We are ending at positive infinity. We cannot include positive infinity because we can't be equal to it. And in this case, we are also not including negative 6 because it is not equal to it. We have an open circle there. We are not including negative 6. We're getting all the way up to negative 5.99999, but we're not getting to negative 6. Let's do one final problem. Here we have x is greater than or equal to negative 2. We want to write the interval for this. To help us write the interval notation, we set up our number line. We're starting at -2, but including it. And then everything to the right of that is also included in my solution. So the highlighted region here starts at -2 and ends at infinity. We are including -2, so square bracket. We are not including infinity because you cannot get to infinity. It's an idea, not a number. So let's take an overall look at all of these. Okay. Notice that when we are less than or equal to, we're starting at -infinity and ending at the number. When we are greater than or equal to, we're starting at a number and ending at infinity. This will be true for all the inequalities that you come across this week. I hope this is helpful, and please reach out if you have any questions or concerns.